Imagine being compared to Lionel Messi by the time you're 16 years old. Now imagine having Kylian Mbappe tweet about your brilliance after watching you destroy a defense. And then imagine Thierry Henry saying he's never seen a player dribble at such speeds with both feet. Well, this is exactly the talent Manchester City just signed for only £34 million, while the rest of Europe watched in disbelief. Since joining City from Lyon, Rayan Cherki has been dubbed the De Bruyne replacement, the creative spark to solve their struggles, and potentially the most exciting young talent in world football right now. But here's what nobody's talking about. The kid was almost frozen out of Lyon's squad just months ago, had his career hanging by a thread, and now he's about to play under Pep Guardiola at the biggest club on the planet. This is the story of how Rayan Cherki went from Lyon's academy reject to Manchester City's secret weapon, and why defenders across Europe should be absolutely terrified right now. Rayan Cherki was born on August 17, 2003 in Lyon, France, to a family with roots stretching from Algeria to Italy. His father Fabrice was an amateur footballer himself, playing for local clubs in the Lyon suburbs, and from the moment young Rayan could walk, he had a ball at his feet. But this wasn't just any kid kicking a ball around the park. Even at 5 years old, Cherki would spend hours practicing kicks, flicks, and skills that kids twice his age couldn't pull off. His former academy director Jean-François Vollier remembers asking young Cherki about his targets. The reply? To win the Champions League and the Ballon d'Or. Most kids that age say they want to be a footballer. Cherki said he wanted to be the best footballer. That wasn't confidence. That was prophecy. By the time he was 15, Cherki was already training with Lyon's reserve team in the Championnat National 2, destroying grown men with his dribbling ability. On October 19, 2019, at just 16 years and 63 days old, Cherki made his professional debut for Lyon in a Ligue 1 match against Dijon. But the real magic happened just weeks later. On November 27, 2019, he became Lyon's youngest ever player to feature in the Champions League at 16 years old and 102 days old, coming on as a substitute against Zenit. Then came January 4, 2020. Cherki scored his first senior goal in a 7-0 demolition of Bourg-en-Bresse in the Coupe de France, becoming the youngest player to ever score for Lyon at just 16 years and 140 days old. And this wasn't just a tap-in. This was a moment of individual brilliance that had the entire French football world talking. The president of Lyon, Jean-Michel Aulas, watched that performance and said something that would follow Cherki for the rest of his career. Cherki is comparable to Messi in terms of technical quality. Let that sink in. Lionel Messi, the 8-time Ballon d'Or winner, and Lyon's president was comparing a 16-year-old kid to him. But here's the thing, it wasn't just talk. Even Thierry Henry, who coached Cherki for France's under-21 team, said that he had never seen a player dribble at such speeds with both feet. The hype was real. And suddenly, every major club in Europe had their eyes on Lyon's wonder kid. But then something strange happened. Despite all this talent, despite breaking records left and right, Cherki couldn't nail down a consistent spot in Lyon's first team. Different managers came in, and they all saw the talent, but they questioned his attitude, his work rate, his defensive contributions. His defensive numbers were concerning, with fellow forwards at Lyon like Mikutadze, Lacazette, and Fofana all averaging more pressures in the final third than Cherki's 17.7. And then came the summer of 2024, and things got really messy. Lyon wanted to sell Cherki. Paris Saint-Germain came knocking, ready to take Lyon's prodigy to the capital. But at the last minute, Lyon blocked the move. They promised Cherki he could leave the following summer for a reasonable fee, but he had to stay one more year. The problem? Cherki felt betrayed. He started the 2024-25 season frozen out of the squad due to a contract dispute. Imagine being 20 years old, being compared to Messi, having PSG want you, and then being told you can't play football because of paperwork. For weeks, Cherki trained alone, away from the first team. His dream move was dead, his career was stalling, and people started whispering that maybe the talent wasn't enough. Maybe the attitude issues were real. Maybe Cherki would become another cautionary tale of wasted potential. But then came Pierre Sage. Lyon's new manager looked at Cherki and saw something different. Not a problem to manage, but a weapon to unleash. Sage brought Cherki back into the fold, gave him the number 18 shirt, and told him, simple, just play a game, and I'll build the team around you. And that's exactly what happened. The 2024-25 season became Cherki's coming-of-age moment. He finished with 12 goals and 20 assists in 44 games across all competitions for Lyon. But it's not just about the numbers. In Ligue 1, no player across Europe's top 5 leagues created more chances per 90 minutes than Cherki, both overall at 3.7 and from open play at 2.9, among players who played at least 1,600 minutes. Let me put that in perspective. That's not just the most in Ligue 1. That's more than players at Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Manchester City, or any other elite club in Europe. He registered 11 assists in Ligue 1, finishing as the league's top assist provider, and was awarded the inaugural Ligue 1 Dribbler of the Year award. In the Europa League alone, he delivered 8 assists, more than anyone else in the competition. And here's what makes Cherki truly special. Of the 44 shots he took with his feet in Ligue 1, exactly half came with his left and half came with his right. He's completely two-footed. Defenders have no idea which way he's going to go. He can cut inside, he can go on the outside, he can shoot with either foot, he can cross with either foot. It's a nightmare to defend against. Former Lyon coach Jean-François Villiers explained it perfectly. He was always very skillful, but he was very focused on the duels, one against one. The main thing for him was to find the balance of when to dribble and when to pass. And that's exactly what happened this season. Cherki didn't lose his flair, he just became smarter about when to use it. Then came June 5th, 2025. France called up Cherki for his senior international debut in a Nations League semi-final against Spain. He came off the bench with France losing 5-1, and within minutes, everything changed. He scored a scything volley from the edge of the box that flew past Unai Simon, then cut inside from the left to deliver a perfect assist, helping spark a miraculous comeback that brought France from 5-1 down to 5-4 before they eventually lost. One performance, one night, and suddenly every elite club in Europe was scrambling to sign him. Liverpool wanted him, Bayern Munich wanted him, Paris Saint-Germain still wanted him. Manchester City had originally wanted Florian Wirtz as De Bruyne's replacement, but with his price tag near £90 million, they switched their focus to Cherki. On June 10, 2025, Manchester City announced the signing of Rayan Cherki on a 5-year deal for £34 million. While other clubs hesitated, worried about his attitude or whether he could handle the Premier League, Pep Guardiola saw exactly what Pierre Sage saw. A generational talent who just needed the right environment to explode. So what does Cherki bring to Manchester City? Let's talk about what Pep Guardiola just added to his squad. Director of football Hugo Viana said, "We want to bring top talent to the club," and he falls into that category. But it's more than that. Cherki averaged 11.3 progressive carries per 90 minutes in Ligue 1, defined as ball carries of 5 meters or more towards goal. Excluding central defenders, only 6 players averaged more, and 4 of them play for PSG. That means he can receive the ball deep and drive City up the pitch single-handedly. He can break lines with his dribbling. He can turn defense into attack in seconds. He's comfortable as a wide midfielder, a winger, or in advanced central midfield roles, typically in 4-3-2-1 and 4-3-3 formations. Guardiola can use him anywhere across the front line. And remember, City's big problem last season was predictability. Everyone knew what they were going to do. Cherki is different. He can unlock defenses. He's a maverick capable of magic. But here's what excites me the most. Cherki himself said, "I am here to provide joy for people and to also enjoy myself too." And I think that is what makes the difference, whilst being efficient all the while. That's the mentality Guardiola needs. Not a robot who just follows instructions, but an artist who can create something out of nothing when City need it most. When asked about joining City, Cherki said, "This is a dream for me. I have worked so hard for this all my life. I love this sport, and I can't wait to develop further here in Manchester with Pep and his backroom staff." Now, I know what some of you are thinking. What about Jack Grealish? Wasn't he supposed to be City's creative genius? And look what happened to him under Guardiola. The thing is, Cherki isn't Grealish. His idol is Cristiano Ronaldo, not because of the skills, but because of the work ethic and longevity. He's already learned from his attitude problems at Lyon. He's matured, and he's hungry to prove that at 21 years old, he belongs among the world's elite. Manchester City just pulled off the signing in the summer. While everyone was distracted by bigger names and flashier transfers, Pep Guardiola quietly added one of the most talented young players in world football, a player compared to Messi, a player who led all of Europe's top 5 leagues in chance creation, a player who's two-footed, creative, and finally ready to fill his potential. The Premier League has no idea what's about to hit them, and if you think City dominated before, just wait until Rayan Cherki starts creating chances for Erling Haaland. This is going to be scary. For everyone else. Now, if you enjoyed this breakdown of Rayan Cherki, you need to watch my next video breaking down City's other massive signing this summer. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Click it now.